It's way better than just the passing mark, so you did something right. But here we go. So we are going to get the Pikachu that was promised in chat. You were correct, Black Mamba. So here we go, Chris the Hedgehog, and then Griffith, who I'm unfamiliar with.
Yeah, so I have had the pleasure of playing with Chris Hedgehog at like a bunch of events. He goes to Blades tournament. He's real pressed. He's been there a couple times where I first met him. He's definitely steadily improved. This match is going to be a lot of like, how well can Griffith play the post game and like keeping Pikachu out, because you don't want the rat in, or else you're gonna take strings like this.
And arguably, this is like one of the only matchups that like Lucina mains will say like, oh, they don't do super well in. I just feel like, you know, Pikachu's tiny hitbox and like his maneuverability is just able to get in between Lucina so well, and like the ability for the T-Jolt to edgeguard Lucina and two-frame is also really unprecedented.
We're seeing some great use of the falling nair. Like that's something that Mr. L loves to use. Like he'll use the falling nair and it'll almost like a half drag down setup right there. He
and just like you mentioned it, yep, drag down nair into the up smash. I'm not sure if the drag down hits actually like scale with percent or the have set knockback, but I do think, yeah, I think it should have more knockback as the percent increases, because I feel like at earlier percents that would be unsafe on hit.
I know the fair multi-hits are actually, at least they used to be coded. I'm not sure if they're still coded as set knockback, but I'm pretty sure like Airhead just has very small knockback. You do see it do a little bit more hit stun as people get up there, even with that rage. Whereas like it used to be like with fair, they used to rely on rage scaling in order to get comp.
Trying to set up the nair loops here, not able to find them. You see Griffith like successfully able to mash out multiple times with up B, because I believe it has like, what is it, one iframe on starting up?
It's frame 1 invincible, but the hitbox doesn't come out to frame 5 if I remember.
Yeah, but right there, you know, neutrally more than enough to take it out at that percent. I just feel like Griffith is like struggling to keep Chris off of him for like the longest time, and just like not able to like properly, wow, but this juggle has already left
he kept
so
trying
much
to land it aggressively, and like you don't have the disjoints to do that in this matchup, and it really hurt him. Chris the Hedgehog did try to go for Tipper Fair. A little special property of it is like it barely has any knockback, so you not only link it into itself, but you can also go for kill confirms off of it. Alright.
Good enough. Successfully setting up the tech chase, the missed tech, and just gave Griffith more than enough time to just be able to lead the rollout, leading to such an early stock take.
Yeah, that's something that's been like a big part of this matchup, is that Chris has like been very aggressive in these like defensive scruffles, and he needs to really watch out for that, because Griffith is starting to call him out on that more and more. He's very on that.
Absolutely, like honestly, like Chris cannot be contesting with like Lucina like up tilts or any of her aerials. He just has to find a way to touch the ground as soon as possible. If he like keeps on pressing buttons, you know, he's gonna just be taking more and more damage. He has to be respecting her area of effect.
Yeah, as you're saying, like, he definitely does have to like keep his base and like seeing the times when he does have the advantage, like keep pushing in, and it's causing him to like close the gap when he should be extending it.
You see him dashing back, like expecting maybe an aggressive landing from Griffith. Griffith was smart, decided just to fade back, snap onto ledge.
Yeah, it's at high percents like these. It's actually a little bit more important to stay grounded, because you lose a lot of your defensive options once you do go into the air. Like, even though a lot of the characters in this game are very good, have very good shield pressure and good landing tools, still lose out on shield, and shield's a very important part, especially against a character who doesn't have the best of a kill throw.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But I feel like Chris at this point has like conditioned Griffith to just be playing out of shield constantly, and I just want to be like seeing maybe some more aggressive approaches with grabs at this point, like potentially get the throw into Thunder.
Yeah, oh, he did get the shield on that. You can turn around up B that, but it's a shield grab anyways. Going to take game 1. Yeah, Chris just he was like able to use all the aggressive options to like close the gap, but there comes to a point where like if you keep approaching, just giving them more and more times to adapt to how you're approaching, and they're finally gonna find their spot. And once they do, like you're at a 150, like you could just die if they find their spot. Like once they find it.
Yep, absolutely. I think, honestly, Chris, he had the lead, like, from the very beginning of it, but then he eventually dropped it. Griffith had, like, a really good idea, as you mentioned before, like, on the way that Chris was going to be landing, especially, like, kept on constantly being aggressive. He started playing a lot more grounded, a lot more out of shield, and I just feel like Chris has yet to adapt to that, so that's going to be, like, really pivotal going into Game 2.
Alright, great anti-air. Immediately swatting him out, calling him out on that aggression that also pointing out the entirety of the set. But something that like Chris does have to look out for that we saw at the beginning of the last game is that like because of the frame of invincibility, Griffith was actually able to up-B out of Chris's bear string. That's something that I feel like he like for certain strings he does have to look out for. He could even try to bait it because like it's not incredibly laggy, but if you do call it out and you're prepared for it, some pretty big punishes off of it.
Right now, Griffith had the good idea, like catching the cross-up up beyond his shield, but unfortunately, because he committed to a dash grab and not a turnaround grab, he did not have enough time to properly execute it. He's trying to call out all of these jump with his falling aerials right now, but just Chris is able to just get under him and poke him a couple of times for it.
Smart stuff using the center platform kind of as like a little elevated walkway to kind of approach and mix up how the angles of attack. That's something that's very important. Like a lot of most zoners actually hate the stage because like that middle platform does end up becoming like a kind of problem.
I feel like both of them are like really pacing this super slowly right now. Yeah, catching the F smash lag. Or I even think Chris might have had enough time to shield there, but you know, just sort of didn't press a button. Good catch on the drift, and with the back air, no button coming out from Griffith. Yeah, at that point he was just extremely vulnerable.
And already firing back, catching the overextension. This could be a neutral reset, so let's see who can really do the most with like this even game. They're both just really trying to figure out like what like angles can they get in at. Griffith doing a pretty good job just spacing his fares correctly, making sure that like he can't quite get quick attack diagonally. Like,
yeah, and just look at the way that Griffith is able to like just sort of break out all of these strings from Chris here. Like just like, you know, it's just sort of like a big vibe check in a way where like, okay, you can't be committing to these things that you know are untrue. You can't be going through these strings because otherwise, you know, I'm just gonna be able to mash out of it and you're gonna take a hit and I'm gonna reset neutral for it. So Chris has to be really careful about the way that he is treating his advantage against Lucina.
Smart stuff, you know, opting for the skull bash. They say both his double jump allows him to like his up be a lot freer. Like, see if Griffith can start calling out these T-jolts, because I've been seeing a lot of like full hop away T-jolts, and like especially at this percent, he can eat it back air, and that's going to take the stock.
Again, I feel like Griffith keeps whiffing all of these up Bs. He has to be really careful with it. He's already eaten quite a considerable amount of percent. Lord knows he could be, you know, eating a whole lot more for it as well. But that's going to be the up. Oh, no, goes for the down throw. Didn't want to stale out the up throw, maybe, which I think was a smart choice. Not confident enough it would kill at that percent.
He was definitely just barely like sub kill percent, because now at 150, we saw it last time kill at literally this exact same percent. So we wanted to make sure that like better that like he gets the positioning on down throw and not kill, rather than like up throw but then it doesn't kill and Chris just lands for free and starts abusing rage.
Yep, absolutely. Right now, Chris has to be much more careful with his landings. I feel like he's been double jumping out of this advantage so much. He's just been burning his resources, and Lucina is just able to perpetuate, you know, juggle.
Even though he did like double jump out of that last string, he fade away actually made him a lot safer. Whereas a lot of time he was double jumping in. Makes it gonna be like, even if it's a similar option, like slightly varying it could throw your opponent like off their pace. That's why like waiting at ledge is such like an important tool, because like be picking roll again, but if you wait that 2 seconds, you're like, wait, are they gonna pick roll? A lot of that guessing game. Stuff really trying to bait out a reaction from Griffith, but you know, didn't quite get it with that back dash smash.
Yeah, once again, I feel like he's really fishing for those F smashes at the edge there. And he just hasn't been able to connect it once. Granted, it is really safe, but I feel like if he had like focused on maybe like throwing out a couple of T-jolts, he could be getting so much more mileage off of it.
You definitely just took the words right out of my mouth. Like, he was fishing to call him out on the fact that he was really fishing for the kill, and he was able to clutch it out. Good to be 2-0 for Griffith.